You're listening to Rock Our Whim, hosted by me, Danny Faye. Okay, so if you just want to introduce yourselves.
Sure. So I'm Josh. I'm the bassist in Distance Divine.
I'm Scott. I'm the guitarist in Distance Divine.
And of course, my cat is now on the scratcher. I do apologise. So who's missing?
So we're missing drummer Matty and vocalist Jake.
Okay. How did you all meet?
You probably can go with this one, Scott.
Yeah, so me and Josh used to play in a band called Deliverer, like a metal band. And then lockdown happened. And then we sort of started Distance Divine from there. But I know Matty I went to uni in Leeds, and Matty was on my course. So I know Matty from that. And then Jake was just someone that one of our friends sort of introduced us to when we were looking for a vocalist.
So you basically formed during lockdown?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we were lockdown.
Yeah, it was just really because Scott through lockdown was just writing like non-stop. So he had this idea of, it was like a full EP of music that just, it wasn't really suitable for the other band. So it branched away, and I really wanted to be a part of it. So yeah, Distance Divine was sort of born from that, and that's basically the story of that, and that's where the name comes from as well. Scott thought Distance Divine was a fitting name for everyone being isolated at the time.
Yeah. So does that mean you haven't actually played any live shows yet, or have you? You haven't?
No.
Not as Distance Divine, no.
No.
Do you have any in the pipeline?
No, it's a little bit of
yet.
an odd one. Yeah, it's so basically with coming out of lockdown, it's been a little bit of a slow burner. Like, we had to wait until we could all get together and shoot videos and do vocals and things like that. So we have a fair few songs sort of ready to go, but with regards to being sort of gig ready, we're not quite there just yet. Give it a few months and we probably will be, but right now it's just a matter of, we've got Glitch out there that people are seeing, and we've got this next single coming up as well, so it's just a matter of getting people to know who we are and take it from there.
Yeah, because you released Glitch back in June, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was, yeah.
Yeah. How has it been perceived? Are people liking it?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a departure from what me and Scott were used to. And so to begin with, the idea was that we were going to do a fairly heavy kind of musicality, but with elements of other genres. So Scott really wanted to involve a lot of 80s kind of synthy stuff. And then it sort of fell in our laps that Jordan from Borders really wanted to help us out in one way or another, and asked if he could feature. And so obviously we're both huge Borders fans, so we jumped to the opportunity, and it was received really, really well on YouTube, and radio stations received it really well, except the band's name. They sort of couldn't get their head around that. It's because of the stylization. It's because of all the spaces and the colon in there. And it just,
yeah. So I think we've actually dropped that now.
Colon's gone.
The colon's there, but on everything,
Spacing.
but the spacing's gone. Yeah, because it's eye catching, and that was the point of it. But then when it came to searching and stuff like that, it's sort of a bit of a nightmare. So
especially with Spotify.
Yeah, so it's dropped now.
Yeah.
So.
So you kept the colon, but you've taken all the gaps and made them real words.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it actually shows up in search engines now.
Yeah, we're running out of things that we can do to make names eye-catching, because obviously capitals works, spacing works. Bring Me have just done alternating capital, lowercase, capital, lowercase.
Yeah.
So we're running out of things we can do now.
Just do it all in code.
Just do it all in code, yeah.
Yeah, or French or something, I don't know.
I saw that so your glitch, was used as a promo for Pro Wrestling and Fitness Center.
Yeah, so we in Deliverer back a few years ago, we actually worked with Fight Factory Wrestling. Our first show was actually playing the intro for them. And one of the owners, Hayden or Dutch as his wrestling name is, really liked it. He used one of our songs as his entrance theme, so we played him down to the ring as well. And then Scott went into music production, and he's created Dutch's new entrance theme. And then Dutch saw Glitch, and he said, would you mind if we use this for our next promotion video? So yeah, it was a no-brainer. Why not? Yeah, that's great.
It's pretty good for a first single from a new band. Just
Yeah,
it's out there.
Yeah, and sort of reception on YouTube wise, like me and Scott. Well, I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, maybe for Scott as well, but I've never been involved in something that's gone over like 1,000 views. So Glitch is at something like 76,000 now. So it's gratifying. It's nice to see. It's not obviously huge, but it's massive for where we are.
Yeah, on the scale of it, it's not like going to be the charts, but for the level you're at, that is big numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've never had anything that big before. But again, it's not like we haven't done music. Like we've been doing it for a long time now. So we sort of know our way around how to release, and we know our way around. We've done it badly so many times that we know how to do it well.
Yeah, it's funny because we have had so many projects. Like I was acoustic for a while. He's done like his EDM like side projects and things, and then when we came together for Deliverer, we thought we had it right, like with releases and stuff like that. And so the more we've learned, and we're now at this point, like we know what it takes, and so it does feel like things are finally sort of coming together with releasing videos.
And it's all changing as well, because obviously now TikTok is a huge way to get your songs out there, and it's like, what?
Yeah, we do have a TikTok, and thankfully Scott is a sort of fairly good meme lord, so I'm sure when we release the video, there'll be a few of those.
Yeah, I've been working on some. So I've got a little music production company. I work for a few other people as well, and I've been working on some stuff to put on my own TikTok as well from there. So that's all going to feed into Dissonance Divine. So when we have stuff to be putting on TikTok, like I'm going to be a bit better at doing it and understand it a bit more.
Yeah, it's like you need a younger sibling to be like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the new single. What's it called?
Go on, Scott.
The song's called Dopamine.
Right. Why is it named that?
So basically, the lyrical content is about being addicted to a dopamine fix, whether that's from like a video game, or whether that's from watching TV, or whether that's just that sort of thing. It's about being addicted to that. So I think a lot of people kind of went through that in lockdown, where there was just every day getting up, just doing something to do with a TV screen, or to do something to do with a screen, and just getting that dopamine fix because that's all you had, really. And yeah, it's basically about that. It's just about people being, I guess, addicted to that, as opposed to being addicted to a drug. Like it is sort of a drug. So taking it in
it's
that,
not a diss track though. Like we're all nerds. Like
we all game.
Like, but it's just a sort of understanding that that's where the world is right now.
So what video game were you playing during lockdown?
Oh God, during lockdown.
What one were you addicted to?
In lockdown.
You went for Cyberpunk, didn't you?
So I played so many games. I I played Cyberpunk, but I platinumed Final Fantasy VII Remake and I platinumed Bloodborne in lockdown, and then I also played Dark Souls 3. A lot. I played a lot of games, a lot of games. But I went super hard on Bloodborne and Final Fantasy.
I completed Final Fantasy VIII 100%. But that was before, when I got the PS5. Like, I didn't transfer anything over, so I actually can't remember what I played on my PS4 anymore apart from that.
You're putting me to shame. I just did some Animal Crossing.
My girlfriend Alice, she's like went so hard on Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Don't blame it. Like, it's such a good game, but I didn't want to get addicted to it because it came out at the same time as I've been waiting for Final Fantasy VII for like so long. So when it came out, I was like, I need to get this, and it came out at the same time as Animal Crossing. So I was like, I cannot get Animal Crossing, otherwise it's going to take away my time.
Yeah, it sucks you in.
It does.
Okay, so Dopamine, it's released on the 28th.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to getting it out there?
Yeah,
it's a bit different. It's a bit different to Glitch.
We worked with the same guy for the video. So Matty at Clearway Media did Glitch, and he agreed to come over and do this one as well. So we sort of met in the middle. We actually shot this one in Leeds, and it's got a little bit more content to it than Glitch did. So a little bit more eye-catching. I think the orange element is still there. But yeah, song-wise as well, I feel like this one's got a lot more, I don't want to say variation, because Glitch has got a lot, but I feel like this one's got a lot more about it. And I just feel like
sorry, I always thought that the instrumental for this tells a story.
Yeah.
Like just the instruments.
A sort of natural progression, like an evolution from Glitch.
So obviously, are you going to be changing the title of it when you actually upload it?
Of the video, yeah. Do you want to tell that story, Scott?
Basically, there's a lyric. Is it when Jake's singing or is it when I'm screaming? We both sing the same lyric, so both. Yeah. So there's basically a lyric called "Drop That Act," and it sounds, when we obviously verbalize it, it sounds like we're saying "drop that ass." And Matty, the videographer, when we were there, he was just like, "Oh, rewind that back. It sounds like this." And then he told us, and we were like, "Oh God, now we can never unhear it."
We spent about 15 minutes trying to find the point, and he was just like, "No, rewind it again."
Yeah,
there it is.
And then from there on, it was basically a running joke, and he sent the final video over with it on. Which is fine, because obviously we wouldn't upload it that way, but it's just funny because when we're sending it to people, it says "drop that ass" instead of Dopamine.
Yeah, so for the past sort of, I don't know how long we've been sitting on this, like a month and a half, 2 months. It was August, I think, that we shot this, end of August. Yeah, so since he sent it over about a week or a week and a half later, so that we could all watch the video and, study it. It says "drop that ass" every time. So yeah, when it's officially uploaded, the name will be changed.
Really disappointed
drop that ass in brackets.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed that he didn't send. It says Dopamine at the start of the video. I was really disappointed he didn't send one that said "drop that ass" at the start of the video, like really serious and professional. I would have loved that.
The joke got to the point where Scott actually made a mock artwork for the single "Drop That Ass."
Oh, we can't show that.
Oh dear. So you were saying that you created a new way you were going to release it.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see if this actually comes off or not, because we've hit a bit of a speed bump with this.
So I am working on it.
Yeah, this might end up happening maybe, hopefully before the release, maybe after the release, not sure. But yeah, we made a game, and it's a dead simple game. It's like an old school Mario game. you're jumping over like things. But yeah, once you sort of get consumed, I suppose, by the game, you get the release date. So yeah, it's a little bit of a unique way of promoting a single.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it worked, if it worked, then I know this is going out a couple of days after the launch. So if it worked, then
it's worked and everyone's loved it.
Yeah. So we hope so. Yeah, the idea will be to put it out and have everyone think that we're just like, the band is just becoming a like a video game company. Like, why are they releasing a video game? And then they realise that it's because the video is going to drop soon. So I am working on it right now. So hopefully it can get uploaded soon.
What made you want to do it that way instead of just like the bog standard, tried and tested way?
It's been an idea for years, hasn't it, Scott? We've talked about this for
I've had
years.
Yeah, I've had the video game idea for a little while. I always just come up with crazy ideas, and I'm like, I just want to do it. Let's do it. I like media as a whole, and I really find it interesting when people, if you do something different, more times than not, it's picked up by people more than it isn't. So no one wants to hear, oh, we've got a new song, come listen to it. But everyone would be like, this band just released a game. What the hell? Like, let's go check it out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's more where we were going for that. Just to be a bit different, because the band itself is a bit different as well, like instrumentally, musically. We are trying to be different. So, and it is different to Glitch at the same time. So yeah, I think that's the difference with this project for us as well, is that actively trying to be a bit different about it and just letting our creativity go wild in every way, not just musically.
Yeah, just having
which
fun.
In itself has sort of drawbacks, because if we ever apply for anything and it asks for a genre, like we don't fit one.
That was actually one of my questions. If you had to describe your music to someone who's never heard you, how are you going to define it?
I would say it's pop on an 8-string guitar.
I like that. I was thinking like a creative mess.
Oh, it's not mess.
I meant mess in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I always say it's like, imagine if you had a pop band that was playing really low guitars, like everything's just tuned down. Because we have a lot of synthesizers, we've got a lot of modern vocal elements, like glitched out vocals, and like Josh said earlier, like some like 80s synthesizers, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of that stuff going on to try and keep it modern. And then we also have Jake, who is a great singer, and he's got a register of voice which fits sort of pop music quite well. Yeah. And then we actually weren't going to have any screaming at all, were we, Josh? We were going to have so obviously Jordan in Glitch wanted to do a feature, and we were like, yeah, sure, absolutely, because you're sick. Come and do a feature. We'll have this one song with screams. And then there was a couple of comments on the video that was like, oh, I hope they keep the screaming. And I used to do some screaming in back in the day, and so I was like, you know what? Let's just keep a little bit in there, because there's a few people asking for it, and then the song does call for it. It's not like we're shoehorning it in. So that's where that comes from. But we're not a screaming band. That's why I always say that we're like a pop band with low guitars. We're heavy, but we're trying not to sound too heavy at the same time.
Yeah, we don't want to be predictable. So like Scott said, when it came to the feedback on the YouTube and the comments and things like that, the majority of comments that we got were from people who are more of that sort of metalcore, maybe slightly genty kind of genre, and that's great. Like, me and Scott are huge on both of those, but we both have a huge range of music taste, and the screaming is great. This Dopamine wasn't going to have any in, but yeah, once we sort of realized, okay, we've actually got a fairly big following here with these people, like, we don't want to immediately then release something and them go, oh, maybe this band isn't the band that we thought they were. So as sort of a nod to those guys, we the last sort of 30 seconds of dopamine was like an addition. It was like
it didn't break down
just kind of
twice.
like it's just like a tribute to those people. Just being like, okay, here you go, this bit's for you. It might not necessarily be something we do all the time, but we recognize that you're there. Thank you. But yeah.
No, so it used to. Yeah, thank you. It used to go. Like Josh said, there's like a minute of heaviness at the end, and I really like the song because it builds up to the heaviness. Like it kind of like it sounds like quite a pop song until you get to sort of like 3 minutes in, and then it suddenly like makes a bit of a change. And I always like that. And it never used to go on that long. The heavy bit didn't go on that long. But when I came to record it, I was like, you know what? It just feels like it wants to go again. It feels like it just wants to go a bit harder and again. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw this even heavier section in. And I'm really glad I did, because I always write demos and then I'll listen back to the demos a few times. And as I'm like on my way to work, or if I'm just like walking around or something to listen to the demos, that's when I come up with another idea to add on. And that was one of them, was just like, I really want to make this just go again. But even harder.
Yeah. So obviously you said like you've got a lot of synth sounds in there and stuff.
Yeah,
how's that
there he is.
There he is. How's that going to transfer to the stage, like when you're playing live?
So me and Scott have been in bands in the past that have used backing tracks,
right?
And we're really keen to we'll be using that again, but it'll be a huge sort of focus of the live band, making sure that that's really tight and like every member knows exactly what's going on. I'm not sure whether we'll sort of have a proper live element of synths. There might be in the future. There might be synth pads or sample pads or things like that. But right now, I think it's probably just going to be full backing tracks with the synths and some of the secondary guitars and vocal. I can't remember what the word is, Scott. What is it?
The backing bits and stuff. Yeah. We'll be a live band. The same way you record stuff, really. Like you would have your drums, your bass, your guitars is like the live band, and the rest of it's sort of programming. And just extra sort of sugar for the songs. And that's basically the sugar is what would be on the backing track. All the stuff that makes it a bit exciting and that sort of thing. Because
sprinkles on top of the cake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just the stuff that like makes it sound big, and it makes it sound sort of a bit different, really.
Yeah.
So I looked on your Spotify, and your bio just says, "Follow us to see what's coming next." Hint: it's a lot.
Yeah. So as Josh mentioned, I wrote a whole EP, more than a whole EP, really. It's probably an album, but we might trim it down because not going to write a hit every time. So we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline written, and we just need to demo it all out, and some of it's good to go, and that's what we're working on at the same time as trying to sort out the video game release and everything as well. So we've got a lot on our plates.
So would that be the plan for like the next year, just working on getting an EP out there and building up your live show?
Yeah, exactly. We're 2 songs into an EP so far, so we'll get in there.
Yeah, and I think obviously the aim for any band is to try and get as many eyes on it as possible, and if you can sort of get the right people looking at your music, then you never know what will happen. If someone really takes a liking to it and they're in a position to want to take us on, then EP, album, I think next year could be quite a big one, like a creative one for us. I think we'll be quite busy.
So would you want to go on a gig tour next year, or do you think that's like still in the further in the future?
We have discussed it, and we have had bands sort of approach us and ask us if we could do stuff like that early next year, but it's not something at the minute that we feel like we can commit to, because we just don't have the material for a full set yet. Once we're sort of comfortable with that, maybe touring would be like 2023, like fully, and just get some city shows next year.
We might do a few strings of shows, but I wouldn't say it's a tour.
Yeah, and we don't want to sort of rush into that and be like, oh yeah, we're on tour if we're just doing like 3 shows in cities next to each other. Like we're not going to do that. We'll do a few shows here and there. Again, get as many people looking our way as possible, and then see where that takes us. Because we're really confident in this. Like, it's really sort of both myself and Scott, I think, notice and recognize that it feels different. Like this feels really, really big to us. And like, I know Scott's poured a huge amount of hours and manpower and his heart and soul into these songs. So I think we do feel like there are places that this can go. So yeah, we're not going to let up. We're not going to take anything for granted, and we'll see where it goes from there.
What about like stuff like merch? Would you do that alongside the singles, like a merch release?
Yeah. So that has been discussed. We have been asked a few times since the Glitch release whether or not merch is going to be a thing. Right now, I think we're sort of recognizing that everything that we've got sort of fund-wise is better put into promotion and better videos, and like that. This is how we were able to get Clearway back on board. Like we didn't want to settle for any less than something that was going to be catchy and eye-opening. If it gets to a point where we're maybe not promoting something for a month or a couple of months and we can put out a run of merch, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think merch is definitely next on the cards for us, I reckon. I think we've been discussing it quite heavily, and it's just about getting the right design. A lot of us actually, bar Jake, we're all pretty... Well, I think Jake as well. I don't want to speak for him because he's not here on the call, but we're all pretty open, and we have our eyes open to the whole sort of sweatshop working and stuff like that. So we have been looking at getting our merchandise on nicer quality t-shirts that are not, funded by the sweat of kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we're trying to get them on nicer t-shirts and be a bit more ethical about the way we're doing it. And that does cost a little bit more for us to do, but that's sort of why we're not bashing them out willy-nilly, if that makes sense.
I presume what you're saying there, Scott, just so we can defend Jake here. I presume you said that because Jake's not vegetarian.
Yeah.
So myself, Scott, and Matty. Is Matty vegan? He is, isn't he?
He's full vegan, yeah.
He's full vegan, and we're both veggie. So that's what he means by...
I get it. I mean, why don't you make the jump to veganism? You know you want to.
Yeah, I think I could. I would have to give up stuff like this for a start.
No, you don't. Do vegan ones.
They do. You're right. I found it really hard to begin with, being veggie and checking everything, and now I'm used to that. It feels like going vegan would be like a huge step. Maybe it's not that big a step.
Not now. I mean, back in the day, it probably was. Like when I first went vegan, you couldn't find anything. But now, you just walk into your local supermarket and it's like it's taking over.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's great.
Yeah. It's so easy to do, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a theme that we all have in common and we all feel quite strongly about, but at the same time, we're not militant about it. Like, we don't have a go at people for it.
You're not forcing your opinions onto someone else.
No, apart from Jake.
No. Yeah, so we're just trying to find like a more ethical way of releasing our merch if we can. So that's why it's just taking a little bit longer for us to do it, because we are looking into it.
Yeah. Well, that'd be cool. And I suppose, obviously, if you just want to shout out where people can find your social medias.
Yeah, so we are distance divine on everything. Some of them have a colon in the middle, some of them don't. But it's pretty easy to find. As far as I know, we are the only band called that. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We are on TikTok as well. We are on Twitter, although not very active on there, I have to admit. But yeah, I think Instagram and probably TikTok going forward are going to be the places that we post to the most.
Do you have a website?
We don't at the minute. That'll probably come with the merch.
Right, cool. So to be released.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've only got like a couple more questions. Firstly, what is your cat's name?
My cat is called Jet.
And I've got two. I've got Mabel and Milo, but they're not here.
I had to ask because obviously they're on the screen and I'm a crazy cat lady, so.
No, that's cool. If any of them turn up, I'll show you.
And the final question, which stumps some people, others jump straight in with an answer. That's why I like to ask it. If you could rock out with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Phil Collins.
Wow, Phil Collins.
Yeah, man. The guy's
Okay.
mad. He's so good.
My initial thought is Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah, I think there's so many names that you could say, but I just think Freddie is so, he just transcends music for me. So yeah, I think just being around him would be pretty huge.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'd also, controversial one, I'd go for Bieber, you know. I'd want to jam with Bieber.
Oh, Justin Bieber. Yeah,
He's a sick singer.
Yeah.
He's a sick singer. And I'd love to, because he's not doing rock stuff now, but he's moving more towards like an 80s sort of style. And that does lend itself to rock quite easily. So I'd love to see what he could do with like a pop punky sort of instrumental. I think he'd do a really good job of it.
So what about as a band? Who would you like all collab with?
What, in
I think
this
it's-
band or just generally?
In this one, I would probably say, well, I mean, the easiest one right now, considering he's doing collaborations with everyone, is like Travis Barker.
Yeah.
That one should be fairly easy to sort out.
He might be too busy. He's doing it with everybody.
That's the thing.
That's true. Although they're not massively complicated songs that he's playing on, so he could just turn up and like play whatever and then go. Like it's fine. I think we're always open to vocal like guest appearances. We've talked about it before, which kind of people we'd want on. There's some huge singers that we'd love to work with.
I think for me, like I would like the nothing else would beat it. Would be getting the vocalist from Error, the singer Jesse Cash from Error. If he was on one of our tracks, I would die. He's so good.
Oh dear. Come on then, come say hello to the other cat. There you go.
Hey,
So this is Bowie.
Yeah.
There you
Bowie.
I'm gonna have to go grab one of mine, aren't I?
go.
He's got my headphones.
Oh no.
This is a nightmare.
Podcast has just become about cats now. Oh.
Come on, Jack.
So why are they named Jet?
He's literally jet black. That's why.
Okay, not after Joan Jett or anything.
No,
No.
unfortunately not. He's just there. He is.
So cute. Oh, here we go.
Here's Milo. Oh, yeah. Confused.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've introduced all the cats. Thank you all for coming on.
It's all right.
I really hope the release goes well, and I hope you can get the game sorted out because I want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get it sorted. Shouldn't take too long, but we'll see.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I will link directly at the end of this video. I will put a link to the dopamine link on YouTube so people can find it directly from there.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Don't use the wrong one. Don't use drop that ass.
I won't, don't worry. That still makes me chuckle. It's a blinding video though. Really like it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, credit
Appreciate
to
that.
Matty at Clearway for that, because he's pretty huge. Like we love working with him. He's the most
he knows what
Scouse
he's doing.
person we've ever met.
In between every word is not even kidding.
Oh dear, brilliant. Okay, right. Well, thank you again.
No problem.
No problem. Thank you.
Really
Appreciate it.
I will speak to you later.
Yes. Speak
Thank
to you in
you.
a bit.
Yep. See
Take
you.
care.
Bye.